Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor today to stand at this platform to share my ideas about freedom and equality. Before talking about these aspects, I want to start with my own experience. This semester, I joined a community which is called Self-Adventure. The leader of this community, who is also one of my classmates, organizes outdoor camping and activities like that every semester. And for me, I organize a weekly meeting and a discussion every Monday evening. During the discussion, we will talk about different controversial social problems, like LGBT, like feminism, and definitions about some crucial points in the society. During the discussion, I found something interesting, or something made me quite nervous. I found several members engaged in the discussion. Or sometimes, I even found some of the members of the community are playing Delta at the back of the classroom. Sounds strange, because it's an academic discussion. So, I looked to myself, trying to find some, maybe the problems. It might be because of my lack of PowerPoint, because the PowerPoints I made are just awful. Or maybe it's just because the topics are not engaging or not related to our everyday life. But finally, I actually realized that the true problem might exactly be today's young people. They have lost their ability to try to form their own moral values, to try to find their own identities in today's modern and complex world. So, today, I stand here sharing ideas about freedom and equality, especially what we students can do inside the situation of the school and the process of education, what we can do to find our own identities and also how we can achieve this. Freedom and equality starts at very ancient times. We need to chase back to ancient Greeks. The chase for the right to vote is a very, very long story. And later to the declaration of French Revolution that all men are born equal. Until now, today's civil rights movement. Just like we see today, more and more female entering workplaces. The aspects of freedom and equality work as a conceptual red line that try to guide our society to develop forward and also regulate the society. And first, I would like to define what is freedom. According to Montesquieu, freedom should be do whatever you want inside the boundary of law and regulations. To our students specifically, we need to obey the regulations and rules of the school. And what is more, according to a famous female socialist of our Chinese government, Lu Chao, she provided a term called self-fulfillment. What does self-fulfillment mean? It means you need to have certain motivations or your own wealth while you're doing something. You need to have certain goals. You need to achieve something. I would like to use our daily example. Today, we see many classmates sleep during the class, right? When teachers try to call them and wanted to ask some questions about them, why they're sleeping in the classroom, they would just stand up and say, "Teachers, I did not disturb anyone. It's just because I'm staying up late to finish the homework last night." But are these sentences really the problem or really the reasons for you sleeping in class? Of course. You have your right to sleep in the class. Actually, you did not disturb anyone else, right? But why during this process do you have certain goals or do you achieve something? Some might cite that we have a relaxed and laid down back. But do you gain something? Are sleeping really the aims that you need to chase for? You can sleep every day. So, specifically, I'm going to talk about what are included in this spiritual model of freedom. First, of course, freedom of the mind. Just like the examples I gave above. You might sleep in the class. You would say, "I'm expressing my own ideas in the sleep," or you are saying, "I'm relaxing in the sleep. I have my freedom of the mind." But this is not the true meaning of freedom of the mind. According to thorough research near the London Pond, meaning of the freedom of the mind exactly means that you are living in the way that you want to live and not defined by the majority of the society. You are trying to live in your own way. You are not defined by your parents, by your acquaintances, by the teachers. You just need to be a truly living human in a way that you want to live. And second point, scientific exploration. Inside the situation of the school and the education process, we can chase for different goals. We can find our own methods. We can do experiments in chemistry and physics classes. We can explore new ways to try to find certain knowledge. And this is our right of freedom inside this situation. And next, achievement. Just like the term self-fulfillment states, you need to achieve. You need to have a goal. Why are you living? What do you chase for? You are not going to be productivity gear of the chain of the society. You need to be a living human. You need to have your goals of living, but not being a robot. So please achieve something in the future. And how to apply the rights of freedom in this specific situation? Everyone sitting here knows that we have student council. And the most common time we see members of student council might exactly be every morning. They're standing at the school gate and trying to find who's late for the class. They will minus the scores of the class. But are this really what the student council should do, or are these really the main jobs? I would say, of course not, right? Student council aims to try to make the school and the students thrive together. They try to lead the students to develop in the right way, but not to find someone who's late for the class. The student council should work in a proper way that aims to its own goals, but not restricted by regulations that teachers and principals make. It may state that you need to find someone who's late for the classes. It shouldn't be that. Student council should work in the right way. They should provide opportunities to express own ideas. This is just like the reason why I'm standing here and talking about different opinions, and why I start up some communities, why I express ideas freely in classes and during the break times. And what is more, interactions. Interactions between students and teachers are exactly the point. We can inspire new thoughts, inspire new moral values, and make a comprehensive perspective about the world. How we are going to evaluate the world, evaluate the term and the phenomenon happening in the society. So these are all methods to use every day. But why not people to use this? Why we are living in this certain situation, living in this school, but we just follow the rules of the schools and we just wear uniform every day? Just live as a human being. So next point, I'm going to explain what equality really means. Equality states that we need to have equal respect, fair treatment, and fair opportunity. Many would think that equality should be regarded as the same as equality, and this is actually controversial problem because you can never define what is a fair treatment and fair opportunity are. So today we're not going to explain this, but I will focus on the equal respect. As listed in our international department, every teacher sees the student as they have equal potential, so they see you as the same. They're not trying to discriminate anyone. So this leads to the next point. We all have equal access to quality education. And what is more, the fairness in the workplace. Just like more and more female scientists entering the traditional male aspects of scientific, like physicians, chemistries, there are more and more female scientists. So this is actually the equality in practice. This is why Martin Luther King tried to point out the situations that modern time the black people faced. He tried to point out the problem, and I'm trying to point out the problem too. But the actions are taken by you guys. You guys need to try to find your own ways to solve the problem, or maybe at least to mitigate the problem. And next point, I'm going to explain why they need each other. Freedom without equality actually is unfair control, I would say. I will use a very traditional Chinese family as an example. Everyone sitting here, I think they should be listen to many terms like 听话, right? You are always told 听话 and obey your parents well. So why are you doing this? Does it somehow try to restrict our creativity? Do we really need to obey what our parents say? Just living the way you want to live Maybe your father will tell you, I want you to be an entrepreneur, I want you to live in the way like you're going to be a physician or you're going to be an anthropologist. But why are you doing so? Just live in the way you want, not defined by the others. And equality needs wings of freedom. Equality without freedom is actually uniformity, I would say. In this school, we see students are wearing the same uniforms, right? But why do we need to wear the same uniforms? It is true that it somehow helps to protect those students from poor families. But does it also somehow limit and restrict our creativity? I would say it is, of course. We need to have our own rights. It is exactly inside the boundary of the rules and regulations. But why do we need uniforms? Tribalism, this remains a problem. And when equality and freedom works as a same part, they usually choose for a just system. Exactly what our school student councils should do. They should try to promote a more just system in our school. No discriminations and everyone not seen the same. I don't want to say any situations like one of my classmates shouting to others and saying bad words. This is not good and not polite. Of course, we are trying to limit others' equality, the rights of equality. And what is more, in that way, our school and what is more, the student council rights, because it leads the students and also connects students and the school. In that way, the student council can try to promote and also ensure the ward, exactly not the ward, because we are in a certain situation, relatively small one. I would say the student council can help to promote the school development and make them thrive together. And next, their roles in education, what we can do today. When talking about rights of freedom and equality, they are actually help to stimulate and inspire thoughts. This is why I stand here and I organize daily, weekly meeting talking about controversial problems. I want to hear more voices. I want to hear different opinions. The world exactly needs various developments, various ideologies. Exactly why LGBT becomes social tribe today. This is actually a main problem of today's society. Just like the opening up state, today's young people have lacked their ability to try to form their own moral values and try to find their own identities. So inside the school, what can we do? I think today, maybe some of you are inside our school student councils, right? So during those activities organized by the student councils, maybe you can try to stimulate others. You can try to spread new ideas, but not to spread. Try to stimulate others, inspire others to think in their own way, but not in a defined way. And what is more, the meaning of existence. The rights of equality and freedom exactly stimulate why we are living. Try to stimulate we thinking about the meaning of our existence. Why are we living and what do we chase for? Why we are living in the world, we need to have certain goals, just like self-fulfillment statement. We need to have certain goals. Why we are living? We study for what? For higher jobs in the future? For more money? Of course not. Maybe some of you, because today's modern people, many are materialism. But I would say, maybe we should have something higher. We need to chase for something higher. Maybe care about human civilization development and maybe thinking about new social types. So think and try to form your own identities, try to form your own moral values and your own ideologies. Thank you.